Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel, I hope you're all doing well. I already anticipate you this could be a shorter video than usual, not because there are not a lot of things to say about Juve, no, there are a lot of things to say about Juve. We just signed a player, Djalo, it's not official yet, but it could be in the next coming days. But because I'm not feeling 100% well, my head is going totally crazy, so I will try to focus, I will try to be efficient, also because in a few hours I am live on the Juventus YouTube and Twitch channel together with Cecilia Salvai, center back of Juventus women, and especially after winning the Supercoppa against Roma a few days ago, I'm super happy. So I will try to be efficient, short, but first of all, before speaking about Juve, I really wanted to say goodbye to Franz Beckenbauer. For what reason? Because yesterday, unfortunately, he passed away. He is not linked to Juve that much. Actually, I made some research to see if he played on the field as a player games against Juve. I didn't find any, but in a way, he was linked to Juve. Why? Because we are still speaking about the sport that we love, and he wrote a lot of pages, important pages of football forever. That iconic picture that is and will forever be iconic, the one when he's playing a World Cup like that, with his arm like that, fantastic, beautiful one. And then also another thing that will, I think, forever be linked with him is when a few months ago I mentioned Dean Huijsen linked to Franz Beckenbauer. Why? Because when I'm watching Dean Huijsen playing, I always see that serenity, that maturity, that calmness, you know, that seniority, how he's playing, reminding me always to Beckenbauer. And I believe that's the most beautiful thing that a football player can have, you know, even after he's gone, that his image, that his name will always and forever be alive. And I think that's a beautiful one. Now, I have a fantastic, beautiful news for you. Before that, of course, I'm asking you, you see, I'm sick, I'm stuttering a bit. Please support the channel, maximum of like, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We want to share a beautiful news, a good news, a fantastic news that I don't know if it will mean something. Probably it means zero. But today I was reading Tuttosport and I discovered a statistic. Simone Inzaghi, that is the coach of Inter, he never did better in the second round than in the first round. After the first 19 games, the total points that he had, that were always quite well, he never was able to beat them. 16-17, the first time that he was coach of Lazio, he did 37 points, where in the return games, the 19 other games, did 33. 40, 32, 32, 27, 43, 35. The only season that he was able to equalize them, 34, 34, was his last season at Lazio. The two seasons at Inter, 46, 38, 37, 35. What does that mean? That if we go with history, and you know that I love when history is repeating themselves, we can think that Inter will not do as many points as they did now after 19 match days. That means that Juventus, if they do the same thing as we did, it will not be enough. We will have to do better. But if we are able to do better as what we did, the chances to win the Scudetto are alive. And that's always a beautiful one. Will it happen? I don't know. It's long, it's just history, but it's always a nice statistic. And we know that Allegri, he's a master in doing more points in the second round than in the first round. So pay attention. Does it mean something? Absolutely not. Now that we spoke about Beckenbauer, that we spoke about that curious statistic, I want to explain, especially to the people that are not living in Italy, that not have the opportunity to listen, to understand, to what is happening at the moment in Serie A, in the sport world, in football world of Serie A in Italy, where people are going totally crazy. Yes, we're speaking about Inter people, Inter fans, but also Inter journalists, because I told you already yesterday, the media, papers, television, journalists, they are starting to say, oh, wait a bit, because what we saw in the first 19 games, maybe it's a bit too much. And we have to speak about it. We can't hide it anymore, the benefits that Inter received. Nobody's speaking about complotism and strange things, but they're saying these kind of things are a bit too obvious now, and we have to highlight them. We have to speak about them on television. We have to write on it on paper. And it's a total surreal atmosphere that I told you yesterday in the video. In my entire life as a Juventino, I never experienced something like that. I'm used, since ever, to be attacked. I know what it is to be first there on top, always winning, and to have these kind of supposition, attacks, on a Juventino, but I never saw that Inter was that. And you know it here on the channel, and I have to speak about it. Because how many years now, 4 years I think, that one of my first battles on the channel is fighting against media mass manipulation. Where when Juventus is doing something well, we hide it. When Juventus is doing something wrong, we highlight it, and we have to make it even bigger. And I hate these kind of things. You know it. So today I have to speak about the reverse situation. Corriere dello Sport is speaking about something. Juve, la rabbia e l'orgoglio. Juventus, the anger and the pride of who? Of the team, of course, of the team. They are angry about what happened last year. -15, -10, -15, -10. For Plusvalenza case where, again, only Juventus has been investigated, only Juventus has been taken to court, only Juventus has been penalized, while we know that it was a system where everyone was doing things. I'm still waiting. What about the Napoli transfer? I'm still waiting about a lot of things. I'm still waiting about some players with values, Pinamonti, Inter, where we hear zero about. The anger of the team that wants to take revenge. How many times did we say it here on the channel? Juventus wants to take revenge. But also the supporter starts to be angry, and they have that proud of being Juventino. Why? And especially when, after the case Bastoni, because Gervasoni, for the second time, referee is saying, oh, this goal of Bastoni, of Fratesi, had to be cancelled, and is the second game in a row after Inter Udinese, where goals, you remember that goal of Arnautovic, of goals should have been cancelled. The points that they have today are also led, I'm saying, because Inter, we know it, we said it, without shame, they are the strongest one, they have the best attack, they have the best defense, they are deservedly probably first, but these points are also supported by some dubious things that are happening on the field, where we are not happy about. We are speaking it on the channel, we are doing our thing, we are speaking about Juventus, we are speaking about the other ones, but now the exceptional crazy things is that on the media you start to see it everywhere. And they go crazy. Look, Tuttosport is even putting what we said yesterday in the channel, gialli d'imbarazzo, embarrassing yellow cards. We already spoke about it yesterday, so I will not repeat the exact same story. But the question that Tuttosport is asking is, how is it possible that Inter has 24 yellow cards, Juve 50? It's the opposite, 50 for Juve, while they are doing 239 fouls, Inter 24 when they are doing 216. But it's not even that. It's the fouls that are done on the field and the yellow cards that are there, where we see all the teams of Serie A and the big gap that there is between all the teams that are receiving average 6.8. Every 6.8 fouls, they receive a yellow card, while Inter is there at miles of difference because they have to do 12.7 fouls before receiving a yellow card. And they are really far away from all the other ones. And that's a really big question. How is this possible? Taking an example again, that Barella situation and Rabiot situation. They even went on television and on papers and so on, controlling the VAR of the field decision, when they are in favor or where they are against. And again, Juventus is the only team, only big team in Italy that we see that they are at -2 of field review in negative way. So when they are going to the monitor, they're saying, no, we take away or the goal or the whatever. So it's not going in favor of Juve, it's against Juve. While Inter is equal, 2 pro, 2 against, while Milan 4 pro, 1 1 against. They have a positive balance of 3, but the only big team that is in negative is against Juventus. So a lot of question. And again, that's not the only thing that is taking into account, but a lot of question mark. Now, I have to say, and I want to start saying you, that me, as a Juventino, you, as Juventus, we have always been under attack. Since as far as I remember, since I was a kid, I have always feel under attack. They always remind us of the single mistake that we are doing. The single smallest mistake that is in the favor of the Bianconeri is highlighted. They remind us every time, you know, the yellow card that was not given to Pjanic in Inter Juve, or the non-goal of Muntari, the cancelled goal of Turone in Roma in 1981. This is when I was born, and today, 42 years later, you still read about it. That cancelled goal in Juve Roma of Turone. The Giuliano Ronaldo contrast, you know it, of 98, which was not even a foul. Well, every single time they remind us about that. Now it's the new trend, it's the Ealing Junior Bologna. And they always omit that in the same games we had a lot of things in favor. They forget, about all the other things, about the Lautaro penalty in a Coppa Italia against Juve, about that Zakaria, you remember, penalty, about the red card not given to Brozovic, and so on. They forget. These kind of things, they totally disappeared. And when you try to dialogue, when you try to explain, when you try to show facts that you have, that you worked on, that you have them, well, they close immediately the debate. They tell you, no, stop. Because they accuse you of being the club of cheaters, of match fixing, of bribery. They bring up again Calciopoli. Every single time. Now, the beauty is that they have been attacked since 2 days. They are under attack of everyone, the media, the fans, since 2 days, that they are asking them explanation, and they go in total tilt mode. They are going in total tilt mode. I was watching, reading, I was watching some YouTubers, some content creators, some journalists that are Inter fans. They are going crazy. They are all telling you the same. And no, it is impossible. We are honest. Don't look only at that. We have to look at the sporting part. We have the best defense. We have the best strikers. It's impossible that you start speaking about that. The media is starting to create a toxic environment against Inter because they want us to lose. Oh, ragazzi, it's only 2 days that is happening. What do we, Juventini, have to say after 40 years, as long as I remember, that have been under attack? 2 days only, and they go in total flip mode. And they feel the pressure. Remember when I told you, they start to be scared. They are scared of a team that has a midfield made of McKennie, Nicolosi, and Rabiot. They are scared about half a team with next-gen players. They are scared of a team led by Max Allegri that is putting next-gen players, 2 starters that are bent, a team that is not complete. They are scared. They are feeling the pressure. And this is something, I tell you, that is quite funny. Welcome back, Juve Inter, but this time in an opposite role, with Inter that is feeling under the eye of the target of everyone and under attack. Will they be able to resist to the pressure like Juventus did? 9 years in a row without any compliments, only people speaking bad. It's not even the year where we won with 102 points, the year of Antonio Conte. They were suppositions. No, but it's not correct. They are stealing. It's a robbery. They are not honest. 9 years in a row. And even further, as long as I remember, I told you, with people against. Let's see if they will be able to live with the pressure. I'm curious. Anyway, I wanted to speak about Djalo, because there, if we don't know if we will win the Scudetto, if we will beat Inter, but if there is one thing where we know at 99.9%, because you never know in life, in Mercato, it's crazy, but we have beaten Inter on the Mercato. Djaló, player from Lille, was a done deal with Inter. At the end of the season, he would have gone for free to the Nerazzurri. Giunta Limanna, they anticipated everyone. And I say bravo. I say congratulations. The player last year, before his injury, he had a value around 20-25 million euro. A player that was doing extremely well. A player that is able to play everywhere in defense. He's a right foot player, but he can really play on that left side. A bit like a Dean Huijsen that can play on the left, on the right, like a Rugani that he can play on the left, on the right. Well, Djaló, he can do that as well. It's a player that is, yes, it's a risk in a way. It's a bet because he's coming from a big injury. Now, he's about to come back, but at Lille, he would not have played because Lille, they didn't want to risk anything. It's a player that is out of their sporting plan, because on the end of the year he will be out of contract. He was about to go to Inter, so they didn't want to invest on him. And now, or he stayed there and waited until the end of the season to go to Inter, or he accepted Juve that wanted to go immediately for him. 3 million euro is what we will pay to them. 2 million bonus that will be difficult to achieve, so difficult bonuses, and a 10% in case we are selling in the future Djaló. If we sell him, that means he's doing great or he's doing bad. Anyway, we are taking money and 10% is going to Lille, which is not bad. So Djaló, I'm all in for it, especially if I know that the money is probably coming from Ranocchia, a player that is a player that I like, but a player that probably would never have been a starter at Juve. He went on loan in different teams, Monza, Empoli, but now they are pushing him to accept to be sold not on loan anymore, but permanently to Palermo in second division. Palermo that has the dreams to come back to Serie A as soon as possible. You know that they are part of the City group. So if Ranocchia is going there, maybe for 4 million euro, we already paid our Djaló. Huijsen could have stayed. Yes, he could have stayed, but on the other side, Djaló will not play immediately. He's coming back from an ACL. We don't know how long it will take. We have Alexandro, that by the way is back on the field already Thursday, I believe, if not this weekend. We have Danilo, Rugani, Bremer, and Gatti. So we have enough defenders. He has all the time to already feel good in La Continassa, with the teammates, with the language. He's from Portugal, so he already maybe will have some affinity with the language, or can already speak with the Portuguese players that we have in our team, so we have time. And in the meanwhile, Dean Huijsen is having playing time at Roma, where undoubtedly he will be a starter really, really soon. But the big newness before ending this video, Ealing Jr., change of plan, change of strategy. How long are we speaking about Ealing Jr.? That is the player on the market that probably would have even left in January, not because of his goal, a fantastic, beautiful equalizer against Salernitana, but apparently the plans are changing, and Juventus, they want even to extend his contract until 2028, which means that Juventus will be secure to have a player, and if you want to sell him, you can still cash in. What if he has a contract until 2025? Probably would have been extremely difficult, because at the end of this year, well, the offers would be much lower than they were 1 year ago. Monza asked for him on loan. Juventus said no, because we believe in him. We want to keep him at the moment. Also because the performance of Kostic are not 100%. And that is also changing. What we saw in the second half of Salernitana, or Salernitana-Juve, can be a duel that we can see more and more in the second part of the season. But there is also another newness. Apparently, Keane asked for playing time, which at the moment is difficult, especially now with another star that is starting to rise. We are speaking about Kenan Yildiz. The space will be more and more and more limited also for Moise Kean. We know it, with one competition only. So apparently Fiorentina is asking for him with a loan where they are paying. So it's not a free loan, a loan with money, so Juventus can even take back some money there, and then see at the end of the season what's happening with Moise Kean. Especially then we will have two competition. Will we take him back? Will we sell him somewhere? That's a big question. So Fiorentina could be an option for him. McKennie, the talks will start probably in a few weeks for extending the contract, but that's not the priority now immediately. What about the game of now? Rabiot will not be there against Frosinone. He will not be there. He had a small problem, not too much, but it's good. At least he can rest. Chiesa is still a doubt. Cambiaso will be there. Alexandro could be there as well. Will we see a lot of rotation? I think that Coppa Italia is a big objective for the team, so we'll try to go with the best possible team. What we know is that McKennie will play, Gatti will play, because they will not play in Serie A. The good news is that in Serie A we're not playing this weekend, but on Tuesday, which give us a lot of time also to recuperate a player like Federico Chiesa if he's not at 100%. Then, finishing with the last news, and at the end the video was as long as usual, the best 11 of Serie A for the 19 rounds made by Opta. Opta, that is the official stat provider of Serie A and also from the top Europe leagues. Di Gregorio, best goalkeepers according to Opta. On the right side, Danilo. In the middle, Bremer and Acerbi. Di Marco on the left. So 2 players from Juve, 2 players from Inter for the defense. That is playing with 4. 2 midfielders. Double pivot, Çalhanoğlu and Arthur. The 3 behind the strikers are Mattia Soulé, so Juve player on loan to Frosinone, Gudmundsson in the middle, and then Pulisic on the left, while on top you have Lautaro Martinez. I'm really curious if you agree with that one, yes or no. What are the changes that you would make? Let me know in the comment. Thank you for listening. I hope I was clear when I spoke. I hope that my eyes are still okay. And now, if you want to, you can find me at 4:30 p.m. on the YouTube and Twitch channel of Juventus. Grazie, forza, Juve.